Peace, guys. Chef Aaron here today. Here to talk to you guys about a few things. I want to talk to you guys and open up about the mistakes that people make when they are hosting an event. And it won't be a long video, but just a brief description of some of the mistakes that I notice as being a caterer that people make when they are trying to host an event. So number one, I like to think that most people, when they're booking an event, that they put the catering last. Like, they put so much money into everything else: the photographer, the venue, the decorations. And I personally believe, as a caterer, that's a huge mistake, because just from my experience, most people are looking forward to the food when they show up to an event. So like, most times when people arrive at your event, first thing they're asking for is, where's the food? Hey, where's the food? I'm hungry. Or they hope the food is good. That's most things that people are thinking about when they get to the event. But it doesn't seem like people, when they book a chef, that they're even thinking like that. It's like they're always thinking like, oh, we'll do all the other stuff and then we'll save the budget, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 for the chef then. And it's like, food is expensive, guys. What chefs do is not cheap. If you want an event and you have 50 plus people, 100 plus people, it's gonna get costly for food. So my advice for people would be to stop prioritizing everything else but the food. Prioritize the chef, prioritize your catering service, prioritize the food. That's the first thing that people care about. They don't care about how fancy it looks. They don't care about what venue you at. They only care about if the food is good. Where's the food? They're hungry. They want to be entertained. So, because what I notice is they put all this stuff into none of this stuff that matters, and then they want the chef to have this tight budget, and then they're like, figure it out. They leave everything up to the chef, and it's like, that's not fair to the caterer. Everything falls on the chef or the catering team. What I've noticed from working events, we end up being responsible for so many things that we're not even responsible for, just because they feel as though they hired us to orchestrate the event. You did, but you hired us just for the food. If you would have took some of that money and invested into us more, then I could have a bigger team. But it's like, most times people don't think about it like that. And that's another thing I want to get into. Like, when you book a catering or you book a chef, you need to be mindful of how many people you're trying to host or you're trying to schedule for the event. Because at the end of the day, if all these people don't show up, you're still responsible on the hook for all the people that you told the chef or the catering service would be there. And I think people make this huge mistake, and it could save you a lot of money if you decide to do things more intimate instead of always having something so big. For example, like, you have an event, you should keep it 50 people or less. The most important people to you, closest friends and families and relatives, will be my, that would be my request. Like, that's what I would tell you to do. Because at the end of the day, it's like, why put on a big event for a bunch of people who probably won't show anyway, probably won't speak to again for months after this event? Why waste all your hard-earned cash on those people? Throw an event for something more intimate, small, for the people that you love, you cherish, and that you truly care about. Because if you do that, then it can reduce the amount that you're spending per person, right? So that makes it big cheaper. That's another thing I want to explain to people, like, why it's so expensive to book a chef. Like, it's very expensive to book a catering service, because at the end of the day, there's a lot that goes into it that people don't see, man. The things that chefs and catering teams do behind the scenes, oh my God, you guys have no idea some of the things we have to go through to make these events happen. And then, like I said, once we arrive, everything is on us. If, the photographer's late, somehow that's, they want the chef to do something about it. Like, if the decorations aren't right, somehow they want the chef to do something about it. If they don't have servers or they don't have trash, like a waste team, now all of a sudden you want the chef to figure it out. All this stuff clean up after the fact. You want the chef to take care of all these things, the catering team, the service, but you spent the least amount of money on the catering team, but left all the responsibilities to us. And that's what I don't understand. What people do is like they always expect this great service, they always expect excellent food, but then they always have a minimum budget. How does that work? You don't go anywhere else expecting that. You don't go to the doctor if you're sick and you need care. You go there with insurance. Why? Because the simplest doctor's visit just to get your health checked upon is expensive, right? So you need insurance to go there and get seen by the doctor. That's not cheap, but people still purchase that insurance, right? You need a lot of money when you go and buy a car, right? Say, for instance, you want a car that's going to hold you down, a car that's low on miles, a car that's maybe newer advanced technology, right? A car that has nice interior, right? Nice paint. When you purchase that car, it's going to cost a couple dollars, right? It's not going to be cheap. But you're going to go and be willing to purchase that car because it's something that you like, that you feel is worth your money, right? This is the same thing with catering. If you want to have the best experience, you have to pay the money. Pay the money, right? Cut the check. I don't mean to sound like I'm money hungry, but any catering team or chef could tell you it's very frustrating working with people trying to convince them why it costs this much, why I have to charge you this much. Because at the end of the day, everything falls on me when things go wrong. So I need to charge you accordingly so that I can make sure I can cover all the aspects that you don't think about. And I think that that's what most people do. They don't really think about all the stuff that the caterers, the chefs have to do. They don't think about the 2 and 3 and 4 or 5 days, how I had to go to the store at the beginning of the week, how I may have to go to 4 or 5 different stores just to accumulate all the ingredients for the event before I even get to the event. They don't think about all the prep that I have to do throughout the week to make sure I have enough food and have enough things. They don't think about how most times chefs are up at extreme times and extreme hours to pull these events off. Because if you want a breakfast served at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, what does that mean? If I want to serve fresh food, I have to be up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, I have to be up 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning possibly, to cook everything, to pack everything, make sure everything is hot, load up everything, put up everything in the truck, or your van, or your vehicle, you know, then bring it to the event, right? Set up chafers, set up warming utensils and warming equipment, right? Then still got to make sure the food is hot, then serve the food, put the food out there. So yeah, it's not cheap to have a catering service. It's not cheap to have a chef come and do your business. And another thing is, if you book the chef, let the chef do the job. That's another thing I like to get into, because people think once they spend their money that they have control over how they want the chef to do things. And yes, we are here to serve you. Yes, we are there to provide a service to you and your peers and your family and your friends. We are there to do that. But at the end of the day, we are the professionals. If you paid us, that means you trusted us to do a service. You need to let us do the service. Most people want to dictate how things go throughout the event, and ultimately, most times, that leads to malfunction. That leads to mishaps, because at the end of the day, you're not the professional. And you don't understand why I may have to do things a certain way. You don't understand why I need a certain amount of people here. You don't understand how we break down and how we set up. You don't understand how I like to put food out. You don't understand temperatures, time control. You don't understand, right, how we could keep food safe too as well. These are things that you're not thinking about. You're just thinking, I cut a check and I expect to be this. But there's so many, things that go into making an event successful. And that is why I'm making this video today, because I want people to understand that, like, it's not easy what we do. Being a chef, having a catering team, it's not easy. You have a bartender, they go there, it's 100+ people. It's not easy to keep a smile on your face for 3 to 6 hours, possibly standing there in one space. People are crowding all over you, answering different questions, remembering different drinks, need ice, need toppings, need limes, need lemons, need cherries, right? Need different liquors, mixing things. It's a lot of things that we deal with. It's not easy being a chef, having to cook on the fly, bouncing around different people to still set up events. It's not easy doing that. It's not easy being up all night for 2 days sometimes, preparing food before you even arrive to the event, and still have to arrive to the event with a smile on their face. People don't understand that. Most people think when we show up to events that, oh, we're, ready to go. Yeah, we're exhausted already. We already been up 2 or 3 days already putting this stuff together. So, yeah, I just want to touch on that, man. Definitely, guys have to start thinking about what's most important for your event. What's most important for your event is good food, good quality food, man. What's most important for your event is a good catering service and good team. Because at the end of the day, that's what people are going to remember when they leave that building. Me being a chef, doing a private event since 2021, having a catering service since 2017, there's still people that reach out to me from events I've done 7 years ago that say, wow, man, we still remember that food. It was so good. There's times when I've done events that people weren't happy with, and they still remember that. Everything is not always peachy clean, so I just want to bring that out there. But I'm just being honest, like, to make my point and say that food leaves an impact. Good food, people will remember forever. Good quality service, people remember forever. And that is really what catapults your event. Not all the other fancy, smancy, materialistic stuff that means nothing. People want a good service, a good team. They want to eat good. So at the end of the day, you have to do that. Work with your chef. Work with your catering service to make sure you guys can provide the best service possible. Definitely something I wanted to touch on for a while. And I just want to make a few of these videos to give people a better understanding of what it's like for a caterer. And just over the experiences that I've dealt with, different clients and customers that I've dealt with, and different scenarios that I've dealt with. About 90-95% of them have all been positive experiences, but there are a small percentage of them have been negative. And due to that, I want to be able to shed more insight and also shed more, of my perspective of what it's like being a chef, what it's like operating a catering service, what it's like putting a team together, and what it's like hosting an event. So, yeah, there's some things for everybody to think about. If you tuning in, thank you, man. Definitely want to tell people to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to start posting a lot of different videos. Right now, I just want to post some informative things to get myself engaged with my clients, get myself engaged with social media and this platform, and reaching out to see what kind of audience that I can cultivate ultimately. So thank y'all, man, for your time. I appreciate it. Definitely be looking out for more videos. And yeah, share this around, man, for all my chefs and all my catering service. Share this around, post it, so people can get and have a better insight on what it's like to actually be a chef and what we actually go through. So thank you. You have a blessed day, blessed week. And let's look forward to more videos coming weekly, definitely from Chef Aaron, Heartfelt Catering, LLC. We in the building, man. Peace.